doing, YouTube? Welcome back to another video and welcome back to the Road to RS series. Now, if you don't know what this video is, what the series is, sorry, this series where I'm trying to buy and sell my way up to my dream car, which is a Focus RS. Now, we're actually in the current project of Road to RS and we're on the way to pick up some parts. And in this video, we're going to be fixing all the problems with this car and we're going to be getting it up for sale. So if you don't know what this series is, make sure you go and check out the other videos for this series. I've done a couple of cars now along the way and this is just one of them. This is an Audi TT that I've actually, I kind of fell in love with this little TT, but we can't keep cars on YouTube. That's not what we're here for. We're here to get to that Focus RS. So I apologise for that, but let's get to the destination and pick up these parts. We are on our way back home. As you can see, we have bought some wheels for the TT. That's right, we've got some wheels. We're going to chuck a new set of wheels on it. Now, I've never bought wheels for a car on the series before, so this is interesting. Just chucking some wheels on. Like I said, it will be presuming normal camera quality from now on for the rest of the video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. The guy bought these wheels on. He's actually a Porsche specialist in sound. So nice one, thanks very much, mate. And we will see you shortly. Right, so we're back. You saw in the last clip we went and collected some wheels for the car, which are just in front of me, and we'll be putting them on in this video. We've got a lot to do to this car in this video, and hopefully this will be like the last, well, it won't be the last video on the TT, but today the car will be up for sale. That's the aim. By the end of this video I'll have the car up for sale. I'll go out and take the pictures tomorrow. That's different. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning and we've got a lot to do, and some things have developed since then. So what I've realised is using the car is this side is a snap suspension spring, so we've got a spring for this side and that side with top mounts. We've got them to do. The rear lights have generated that usual TT fault where they're intermittent, where they work and they don't work, so we're going to have to look at the wiring on them and do a new earth. But yeah, we've got a lot to do today, so we're going to crack on. Kind of let's get to it. Suspension springs are not my forte, but we'll give it a go and we'll see where we get up to. Let's get on with it. Right, so I'm just going to admit this because there is no way to it. I can't get the broken spring off. I can't get I struggle to get the drive shaft bolt out, and then I can't even get the drop link off, and I haven't got the time or the energy to be doing it. So it is going to have to go into a garage to have the front springs done and the front top mounts. But while we're here, we are going to do the brakes. Now, this has had a set of brake pads recently because they're quite fresh. However, the discs are absolutely ruined, and I suspect that they're warped as well. So we are replacing our front brakes and the rear brakes with new disc and pads by the one and only Petrolhead. Great brand, used them on lots of cars. So I've already, as you can see, already got it stripped off. So what we're going to do now is get these installed. Look how shiny they are. Disc and pads done, and just like that we are done. It's now time to put the wheel on, and I'm going to reveal the new wheels that I picked up at the start of this video just for you guys. Now I know you might be thinking, Max, that's the exact wheel that you took off your car, and you're right to an extent. It's the same design, but there's a reason we've swapped them out for these ones, and that is that these ones that I'm putting on the car have a full set of matching Bridgestone tyres that are not too old. They've got plenty of life left in them, and I picked these up at a bargain price. They were that much of a bargain that I reckon I could get nigh on 100% of my money back for the wheels that I'm taking off the car. So that's a great upgrade for when we sell this car, move it onto the Road to RS series, get the rest of these wheel bolts in, and then we'll tackle the next corner of these brakes. Right, back ones are off. This is the disc. I don't know how well this will be shown, but if you look, awful. This rear disc is absolutely awful. So it's a good job of changing it. Don't know how these got for an MOT, if I'm honest, but hey, oh, it did. So let's get the new ones back on the car. Now, when I did the other side before, this is the tricky bit, because this just doesn't look like it wants to go, but it should go, he says. There we go, and you get to a point where you're here, and again, it might get a little stuck. If it gets a little stuck, just a little, let's get it home, and that, and this now is just basically the reverse process. So grub screw on, wind back tool is the next thing, like so. Once it's all the way in, and then remove the caliper tool, like so. Then we need some brake pads. Now I'm using some Bosch Super Fit. I got this when I did my Focus ST, and it's proved really well. We're just going to put all the bits that are metal on metal. It's a little bit more expensive than copper grease, but it should be longer lasting. Then with the Fevi Bilstein kit, then 13mm bolts, you get two new shiny ones. So we're going to use them, and that's done. Right, so that's the brakes done all round, all four corners, front and rear are all done. Now, the pads have clearly been changed, and when I bought this car from auction and I looked at the MOT history, I saw that it had an advisory for brake pads, and it looks like someone's put a set of pads in it. However, me personally would have changed the disc. So this is the front. There's a big lip on the top, there's a big lip in the middle. They felt warped when I used them, and they're corroded to hell. The other front ones are the same, but the back ones, these back ones are probably up there with the worst discs I've ever took off a car. Just look at the state. There's like no coating left, it's all rust. The backside is even worse. Look at the state. So that's the other rear one as well, equally, if not worse. Like the rear of them discs are horrendous. There's kind of no metal, it's complete rust. So I'm not sure who MOT'd this car last, but whoever thought that was acceptable, not even an advisory. And this car's only done around 3,000 or 4,000 miles since its last MOT. Yeah, I don't agree, but I'm not an MOT tester. I am not an MOT tester, I do not agree. But they're off the car, the new ones are on. We have got a bit of a failure, can't get these front shocks done. And the reason for that is because I'm struggling getting the drop link off. So I'd have to cut the drop link off and buy new drop links. But then I don't have the correct spline tools or sizes. I don't have the correct sizes. To get the correct sizes is a bit of money. I just think I can take it into a garage and not have to deal with the hassle or the stress of doing it. And that's what I'm going to do. It's another additional cost to the car and eating into that profit, but maybe I'll just have to be a little bit more strict when I sell it. But I still think we've got a profit in the car. I still think there's the best part of £1,000 profit in the car after that. So hopefully by the end of this video this car will be done. Right, day 2 of trying to save this TT. I don't know where I'm saving it from because it's a good car, but it needs a bit of love, it needs a bit of work. I give up yesterday, don't know about that suspension spring now. I might have another pop at it today. I've not decided yet. I've got other things to do. I've actually got someone coming down who I'm doing a job for to earn a bit of extra money. That'll also go towards the TT. But I think we'll crack on while we wait for them to get here. A job that should be relatively simple, and I'm saying it out loud. Relatively simple, complete. is this. Common issues on TTs this generation is the bonnet latches go. This actually looks alright, but it don't. I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to pop this trim out. We've got a genuine Audi one to put on. So take this rubber off. The last bit then is our new latch. Pretty easy, 2 10mm bolts, slot the cable over. Should now put this in. And there we go, look at that. Perfecto. So bonnet latch is done. Next we're going to tackle these back lights. We have to take it out. Common problem on these is that the earth cables on the lights burns out, which gives you an intermittent bulb out fault, and that's what I've got. Sometimes it's the side light, sometimes it's the brake light, mainly the indicator, to be honest, on the right side. But I'm going to do both, so we'll whip the lights out and we'll go from there. So there we go then. The rear lights are out. Now let me show you what I mean. If we look at the plug here, now you can see that top left is burnt. That one's really bad. And then if we look at the other side, bottom left has started to burn. And if you look on the plug, this is the passenger side. That one doesn't look too bad. And if you look at this one, you can see it burns out. So what happens is the earth strap is kind of not like strong enough or thick enough to deal with the power of the lamp. It's a really common fault and design fault on the car, so we're going to put our own earth strap in, which will alleviate that problem. So strip the lights down and we'll talk about it. So once you've separated your light, this is what it'll look like. This is the light and this is the bulb holder. Now what we're going to do is do our own earth. So what I'm going to do in this set corner here, I'm going to drill a hole, attach a bolt with a washer, and then we'll run a cable from the other side of this into an earth point on the car, which I'll show you. So for now, let's get this all drilled, let's get a patch on this.
I guess that you'll never know.
So these are additional earth straps. That's called the jumper cable, and then that's the one we're going to connect to the body of the car. Now that's the passenger side. Not really got an issue with that one, but it has been an issue intermittently. The driver side's the main one, and I've just took it apart and look at this. You can see here, everything's rust there. There's a bit of water in the light. That could be contributing. So I'm going to do the jumper cables anyway because I'm here and see if that fixes the problem. But if it doesn't fix the problem, then I'm going to have to get back of a light. I don't imagine it to be too expensive, but I could be wrong. I'll have a look on eBay for a second-hand one and see how much they are. But we might as well carry on with what we're doing. Do the jumper cable, do it here, and see if it fixes our issue. So jumper cable attached there, and then this one is what will go off to the body of the car. Like I said, with this light then, as you can see, there's rust on the circuits. So that could be the problem, but then the cable is burnt out. Who knows? It's worth doing this just because we're here, and if it fixes the problem, happy days. If it doesn't, we know it's going to be there. Right, so I'll put the lights in template, let me show you. So these are the lights. This is our cable, comes through here, through the grommet, inside the trim. It comes out and connects to the earth point on the car here. Now that, I've tidied it up, I just want to make sure it works. Now this side was intermittent, but nowhere near as bad as this side. So this is the side we're going to test, and this is the side where the metal's corroded on the light. But we've got our jumper cable on there, connects to an earth strap underneath, which goes in through the grommet of the car. It's this brown cable here, and again it connects to the body of the car. Now I'm hoping this has fixed it, and if it's not, then it's going to be that. And even if it doesn't fix it, it still needed doing, because you saw the state of the earth cable anyway. Now as soon as I started the car previously, I was getting an instant light fault. So if I don't get an instant light fault, I think we've done it. Here goes. Rear light turn signal. So it's still got the, now as you can see it's flashing, which would suggest it's working. Confusion, I know. Let's have a look, see if we can get to the messages of the car. Right, I've turned the car off. Let's see what it's saying. Side light daytime running left. Side. So that's not the indicator now, is it? That's something else. Right. I don't know if I needed to cycle through all the lights or not, I don't know. But all I've done is I put each indicator on, press the brake pedal, and I've turned the lights on and off. And the only one that I've now got on the dash is for washer fluid. So I think we've fixed it. The true test, of course, is when we go out for a drive to see if the fault ever comes back, which we can do because I need to get a tyre swapped over, which is a different part of the video. But let's just, if we turn the lights on, let's see if they come. As you can see, the bulbs. We'll put the indicator on. We've got a flashing right indicator. I'm going to say it. I'm going to call this job a success. Let's get these lights back together. Let's get them back in the car. I'm calling this a win. And that's the back of the car back together. I've also glued in this parcel shelf. The fingered snaps. It's quite common again on TTs. I've just glued it in. It's not pretty, but it does the jobs. Both rear lights are working. Stick the key in the ignition. The only fault we're getting is to top up washer fluid. So shout out Car Chris, he's the one that's selling these kits of really good value for money, and they clearly work. I weren't convinced this was going to work. I thought it was a win button for the cost of it. I thought it was worth a try, but definitely worth the money. Easy fix. So we've got one last job to do. So here it is, back from the garage. So it's had the top mounts, the springs, and the drop links done on the front, and you can see now the car actually sits how it's meant to sit. It's sat a little bit too low on the front because of that snap spring, but all in all the car has come out really well. Mechanically this car is now complete. All that's left to do on this car is get kind of the cosmetics done. There's no damage, it just needs a right good deep clean and a deep polish and a wax, and this car will look a million times better than it does. As you can see when you look underneath the spoiler, it's all just a little bit grubby, and that's what we need to kind of get out and get clean and get this car where it needs to be and get it looking the way it deserves to be looking, because it's a good solid car. It's a good example of a Mark II TT, and I'm really proud of how this car's kind of turned out. So we'll get it cleaned up in the next video, washed, polished, and then it will be up for sale. Sadly it's not for sale for this video, I just didn't have enough hours, I didn't get it done. So for now I'm just going to enjoy this car for another week, and then it'll be up for sale. We'll get it deep cleaned. So thanks very much for watching. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. You can join me on this journey of a road to RS. Thanks very much for watching. See you on the next one.